What does Illinois envision Zacharie Perrin can add to the program?
They really like the fact that at 6'10", he has an ability to play inside and out. Now he is going to have to add some strength to be able to bang in the middle there in the Big Ten, but his footwork's really good. I think that his ability to make moves and get to his left hand or right hand, which he uses both very, very well, is something that he can do. But he can also face up and has an ability to, by putting the ball on the deck, can go by some bigger guys. And you see some baseline drives, and he has nice reverse finishes, or he can drive down the middle of the lane, spin move, and create that separation. And I think that as time goes on, we'll see if that jump shot, which he's flashed at times in the mid range, he's shown the ability to hit some threes at times. If that can become more consistent, then he's really fitting into. I think he does as well. Even if he's just a limited shooter, as someone that can space the floor, or somebody that opens this thing up, because he's a great passer. I think he's somebody that, as you look at this transformation of Brad Underwood's offense and what he wants the big man to look like, I think he wants to play a lot of 5 out. He wants to have a ball in a guy like Dane Danger, or now Zacharie Perrin's hands at high post, or even extended beyond the perimeter, and letting guards cut to the basket and run some action for wings, and really just space that whole floor out. So I think that he can really do that. And you think about pick and roll game, which he's able to do. The short roll is something that he does very, very well, because, and if people aren't familiar with that, it's where the guard penetrates off, and the big guy maybe takes 2-3 steps. And if they come and trap that guard, you hit the big man, and all of a sudden he's a facilitator. He's got an advantage against the defense, to where he can put on the floor, he can pass, or do some things potentially with that jump shot as well. So that's where the staff is really intrigued. And defensively, again, he needs to add strength, but he's 6'10", 6'11". His wingspan is 7'2", 7'3" range, I was told, and he moves his feet decently well for his size. So he's got a decent package of just traits and promising upside that I think long term, I don't know, we can talk about what he can maybe be in year one, but I think a couple years down the road, or really a year with Fletch, I'd be really curious to what he looks like next year, and maybe making a decent contribution.
Let's just put it this way. This is a different level of developmental big for Illinois basketball than some of the guys they needed to add, right? Like, this is a very talented one. I don't know if we mentioned it yet, but UCLA, Texas, Memphis, Florida, BYU, like, these are teams that are routinely making the NCAA tournament, and some of them going very far. Derek, all wanted this guy from the sounds of it. And it sounds like Texas, UCLA that you've said are the kind of the two top ones. That's a pretty dang good recruiting win when you're getting a kid to come from the French Riviera, not to Austin, not to Westwood, not LA, and now you're going to Champaign, which could be a little bit of a culture shock for a kid used to the French beach. But kudos to Illinois for their sell of development. As you said, maybe NIL plays a role in this, and that seems to be going in Illinois' favor in a lot of these recruitments this offseason. So what do you think? What does he need to do to carve out a short-term role? Can he be the third big guy in that rotation? And how does he complement what they have long-term in the front court, alongside with, Dane Danger? I would say Coleman Hawkins, don't know how much longer he'll be around. He hopes it's not that long, but like Dane Danger, Ty Rodgers, eventually Perez Johnson, right?
Yeah, I think that in terms of this year, I think we'll see how he adjusts to trying to get stronger, and the time that he's going to be able to. And it's not going to be a ton of time, because he's going to arrive in August, and then it'll be the season in a couple of months. But I'm sure that Fletch will be able to get with him and try to add some more strength, and then also just competing against a different level of competition, how he adjusts to that, playing in practice against Danger and Hawkins and Matthew Meyer, and he'll really get pushed. And we'll see what that looks like, as far as if he can compete and just provide some minutes. Because as it looks right now, Dane Danger, Coleman Hawkins, your primary options at the 5. Coleman, of course, will play some 4, but I think he'll slide a lot to 5, with Meyer and Ty Rodgers being guys that are going to play a lot of minutes. And then it's beyond that of who can play the 5 spot in a pinch. Is it going to be Zacharie Perrin? I'd be surprised if it's Brandon Lieb, although he's got a chance to show that he's more ready for that than he has been in previous seasons. But Perrin probably at the outset jumps over Lieb in terms of getting that opportunity. But also Brad has said, look, I'll play 4 or 5 wings at the same time. I think that's something that he's very interested in doing when you don't have Danger or Hawkins on the floor. Do you just go point guard and go RJ, Terrence Shannon, Ty Rodgers, Matthew Meyer, and have that be your lineup? I think it'll matter depending on matchup and depending on how that ultimately looks. But
That worked well for Iowa, right? Like that the lineup of Chris Murray, Keegan Murray at the 4 and 5, like that worked unbelievably well for them, especially towards the end of last year.
definitely, I know some are going to say, "How do you guard Dickinson? How do you guard Zach Edey?" Well, how does Zach Edey guard Matthew Meyer playing the 5? So there would be the push and pull of that kind of a sense. But I think based on what we've seen on film, and you accurately said, I mean, the competition's way different than what Illinois is about to face right off the bat in non-conference and then in the Big Ten. But this guy's got some talent. Like he's got some ability, and I think that if he were to play spot minutes this year, it wouldn't be surprising. And then beyond that, in terms of long term, Coleman Hawkins is hoping to go to the NBA after this year, or if it's not this year, maybe next year. And he doesn't have a ton of eligibility left in general, so he's not going to be a long-term solution. Danger's got a lot. I think he's what 3 years remaining, or maybe even 4 if you count the red shirt that he had at Baylor. So he's going to be in the mix. I think he complements him well because he's more that slender, long, wiry, where Danger's a little bit more that big bodied. Both guys are skilled and can put the ball on the floor and pass and everything. And then, yeah, Ty Rodgers is that 4-man who's going to be 3 or 4 at Illinois. And I just think that when you think of Ty, that junkyard dog, that strong, that athletic guy, I think he complements a guy like Perrin, who's not saying he's going to be a bad rebounder because he's put up good rebounding numbers and he's got those long arms, but you kind of get that nice physicality, which Merez is going to bring as well, versus if you play that and pair that with a 5-man like Perrin, who's going to have the skill and going to have some of the other things.